Another week, boys, and another TWAB. Today, fellas, we're going to talk about this week at Bungie, but I also want to bring up the Twitch Prime rewards that were posted yesterday. I was actually out of town. I just got back home. We'll be talking about that today, though. First up, this week at Bungie, we had to fix the timeline. Earlier this week, when we deployed 2.7.1, we discovered an issue, causing players to lose various currencies. Our team immediately took action and brought the game down for maintenance, while we worked to discover the source of the issue. We did this to minimize any further impact to players. We ended up doing the first ever character rollback in Destiny's history to ensure that no one lost any of their hard-earned materials. We're sorry for any inconvenience caused by the unexpected maintenance and appreciated everyone's patience while we worked to get the game back online. We'll continue to improve our efforts to minimize issues and downtime. Even though some bugs are always going to crawl through the cracks, we'll be waiting on the other side with the swatter. No lie, guys, Destiny really does have a lot of bugs. But let's be real, how many games are as big as Destiny? Like, not just talking about sheer size or sheer scope, just in general, like just pure data. The amount of gigs this game has just climbed up to between all of the expansions, vanilla, including Forsaken and Shadowkeep. This is a very big game, and I wonder if the size of the game is actually causing it to be somewhat buggy. Like, we've seen really big size games out there, but they've normally been like static single player games, something along those lines, not a active live game like Destiny. I would be curious to know what's going on though behind the scenes, like in the mainframe, and what Bungie plans to do in the future to keep bugs like this from occurring. Now, moving on. Empyrean Foundation. Next week, the Empyrean Foundation rebuild efforts begin. Saint 14 will ask all Guardians to contribute to building a beacon that will be the foundation for things to come next season. Oh, baby. The Tower Obelisk will be the focal point of this event, so make sure you have it unlocked and ready to go, as it's going to have some hefty benefits to take advantage of. Players will need to come together and contribute resources towards a common goal. To participate, players can donate their fractaline using the Tower Obelisk. The event will have 7 stages, each requiring increasing amounts of fractaline to progress through. There will also be a hologram at the Tower Obelisk where you'll be able to track the community's progress in-game. Of course, we aren't going to ask you to fork over your hard-earned fractaline without providing some benefits. Here's what's in it for you. So first up, contributing to the Empyrean Foundation costs 100 polarized fractalines. Contributing generates 25% flat progression for all time lost weapon bounties in your inventory. Oh, okay, that's pretty nice. Especially, I guess, if you stack it, if you have your other obelisk maxed out. Also, your Tower Obelisk will generate polarized fractaline each week, equivalent to its resonance power. Dude, this sounds amazing, but like a month ago, right? I don't know, maybe we're gonna invest a lot more fractalines here than what I'm thinking. Increase its resonance power by upgrading other obelisks. Players who donate more than 5,000 polarized fractaline before the end of the season will earn a triumph and emblem. All right, so this is the triumph and emblem. Looks pretty good, yeah? Got some swirlies going on. 5,000 though. 5,000 fractalines may seem like a lot. I currently have exactly 5,070 fractalines in my inventory. So we're good, boys. Now, everyone in the community will also receive a shader when all stages are completed. Here's a look at the community goal for the 7 stages. All right, this is actually pretty wild. So 400 million, 700 million, 1.2 billion. This is exponentially climbing here. I can only imagine what stage 7 is gonna be. Everyone is welcome to contribute. This event will be available to all Destiny 2 players and doesn't require the season pass. You can start prepping this week by stockpiling fractaline and making sure that your Tower Obelisk is powered up and ready to go. So if I'm looking at this right, and I'm just kind of like guesstimating here, I'm thinking it's going to be somewhere around like 13.5 billion fractalines that have to be donated. Am I looking at that right? I could be off, but just seeing that it's almost doubling with each stage, I'm guessing anywhere between like 13 to 15 billion. Fellas, that is a lot of fractalines. If we actually accomplish this, that's gonna be crazy. Like, let's just do the math here. 15 billion divided by, say, just 5,000. Okay, so we need 3 million active players in the community to contribute 5,000 fractalines in order to break that stage 7 goal. And that is, of course, at 15 billion. Like I said, it could be only 13. Regardless, there's obviously going to be players that's going to go above and beyond in donating fractalines, but there's also going to be a lot of players that aren't going to be chipping in. I'm right in the middle, so we'll just have to gauge it, fellas. Hopefully, the shader is sexy. I kind of hate, though, that everyone gets access to the shader if we complete this, right? Like, I like community efforts, but at the same time, get good, right? You got the fractalines or you don't, bro. Moving on, prime time. Yesterday, we announced that we are teaming up with Twitch Prime to deliver in-game rewards to Destiny 2 players with an active Prime membership. We're planning to have 6 monthly drops, with each drop containing 4 rewards. The first gear drop is live now and will be available until February the 25th. It includes Surus Regime, the Coup de Main Ornament, the Skyline Flipside Exotic Ghost Shell, and the unsecured Outcry Exotic Ship. Very interesting, right? We saw this the other day, we talked about it. It was actually leaked before the announcement, but Twitch Prime granting folks in-game gear. Now, only one of these is an actual exotic, Suros, and it's not like we're handing out last words here. I mean, Surus Regime. Surus is pretty nice, but unless Bungie decided to buff auto rifles tomorrow, you're not exactly giving out the nastiest weapon in the arsenal, which is probably a good thing. On the other side of things, to me, this almost seems like something to attract new players or returning old school players. If you take any Destiny 1 vet right now and put Suros in front of their nose and they happen to be hanging around on Twitch, they're gonna know what they're looking at. They know that that's Suros, especially if they're a year 1 Destiny 1 player. And it's a good chance they might actually activate that Twitch Prime membership and possibly jump into Destiny. The problem is, at least to me, is that the majority of Destiny's community, I mean, let's be frank, guys. We talk about the term casuals, hardcore, but pretty much everybody in Destiny is pretty hardcore. Let me just be real. In comparison to other game communities out there, Destiny's community is very, very hardcore, very much involved, and most likely already have Surus Regime. But again, you start to walk that tightrope there. You give away some super desirable weapons or rewards through what appears to be a pay-to-win mechanic, at least at first glance. Things can already get kind of sketchy. My biggest concern out of all of this is Bungie's ability to stay fresh with in-game loot itself, while simultaneously giving loot through so many other monetization means. The Season Pass, Twitch Prime, Eververse. You've got a lot of other facets that is requiring labor and resources on Bungie's end. I think the biggest concern is whether or not this is going to deter from what we want to achieve in-game. As in, no new exotic should ever be presented through Twitch Prime. Never. Like we do it with the Season Pass, Ariana's Vow, Symmetry. I'm okay with that, right? Because you still got to earn it, right? But you cannot give any type of new weapons or new exotics through Twitch Prime. Can't happen. It will be a nightmare for Bungie. On the other side of things, something I wish I would have saw here more for hardcore players are actually ornaments from Eververse present through Twitch Prime. I mean, most of us have Twitch Prime, right? If you don't, it's okay. But man, I would love to get the Spare Rations ornament. I never got it. Or better yet, make that the All-Stringer ornament. Or just any other weapon ornament in the past that we missed out on that we have yet to see back inside the Eververse store. Maybe they have other plans there, but for me, that's something that I would be like, oh, I'm about to go activate that Twitch Prime right now. Suros in this weapon ornament, not so much. This exotic goes, the ship, it's kind of whatever. And again, it seems to be more gauged at attracting old school players and maybe even just new players. But I hope to see more of the rewards from Twitch Prime be more catered to the more dedicated player base. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think though. I'm very curious to know where y'all stand. How do you feel about it? This is important because this really does change a lot. I wish there was a system similar to like Borderlands though, where you don't just activate your Prime membership to get these things, but you actually have to do something or interact with some Destiny streamers to obtain these things. To me, that would have been a better spin on this. Maybe I'm misunderstanding that. That could be the way they're doing it, but it almost just seems like a loot drop where you just activate your Prime membership and voila, you get these rewards. Now, moving on. We have the update 2.7.1 and rolling back accounts. After update 2.7.1 went live on Tuesday, the 28th, the player support began to notice a trend of topics where users had lost various Destiny 2 currencies and infusion materials. After verifying this issue, it was decided by several Bungie teams to take the game down in an attempt to prevent more players from being affected. Due to this issue affecting all accounts, and with no way to determine how much each account lost in a timely manner, it was decided to roll back everyone's account from our last account backup around 8:30 a.m. Pacific. So due to the rollback, any progress or quest that was completed between 8:30 and 10:30 would have to be redone. Any item gained during that time frame would have to be earned again. Purchases made during that time frame would have to be redone, and silver spent would be restored. Also, platform store purchase silver bundles would not be affected since they are completed on the platform's end. After the rollback completed, Destiny 2 servers came back online around 7 p.m. Pacific, we are continuing to investigate why this issue occurred and may provide more information about it in the future. Like I said before, I would really like to know more information about it. I want to know what's happening internally with Bungie, why we are running into major bugs, because that's a pretty big one. I had over 3,000 Ascendant Shards, Bungie, huh? You didn't want to give me those back? Now I'm back down to 1? What the hell? Now moving on, Twitch Prime support. To receive the gear drops mentioned in the Prime Time section above, players will need an active Prime account, a Bungie.net account, and a Destiny 2 account. Once these accounts are linked, players can claim their drops on the Destiny 2 Twitch Prime website. Then log into Destiny 2 and speak to Amanda Holiday in the Tower Hangar to claim the drops. For more information about how to link accounts and claim your exotic gear drops, view our Twitch Prime support for Destiny 2 article at help.bungie.net. Alright, okay, that seems pretty straightforward. So again, not really much is being done here. You just gotta link your accounts and bam, you got rewards, which is nice. Yes, I guess. I just thought there was gonna be a more active role for the streamer and the viewer to participate in together in obtaining these rewards. But granted, it's just Suros, right? How many people are gonna be jumping in your stream and being like, hey, I'm gonna throw you a pinata and you break it and then you give me the Suros. And then we also have complications on who gets the Suros, right? If you got any suggestions on how Bungie should have done that or should do it, or if you're just fine with the way they're about to do it, again, feel free to comment below. Now, we have some other known issues. The Pigeon and the Phoenix lore book triumph can no longer be viewed by players who unlock them. This will be resolved in a future update. The tower load times have increased after 2.7.1. The Green with Envy quest is not properly recording infamy ranks for some players after update 2.7.1. If you've been running those issues, a fix is on the way at some point in the future. Well, all right, fellas. That is the TWAB. I think the only thing that's been left off, didn't Worm God Caress as well as Winter's Guile get like rolled back or something or locked? Yeah, Bungie.help actually said it right here. Due to an issue with the Winter's Guile and Worm God Caress exotic gauntlets retaining increased melee damage after their intended timer cooldowns, they have been disabled until a fix can be deployed at a later date. Bungie, just buff the duration, man. Give us at least 10 seconds, right? I will say again, more bugs. It's kind of crazy. Well, fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching. And as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.